United States officials have just revealed that tens of thousands of people have been affected by the toxic train derailment that happened in East Palestine, and that residents are currently being offered free health checks. This comes after residents voiced their concerns about the derailment, although many are not pleased with how this has been handled. It's been reported that residents who are currently worried about their health will have their vital signs taken and will be medically examined by a doctor to check for acute health problems. The National Transportation Safety Board said the following: "We have identified and examined the rail car that initiated the derailment, and our evidence showed what appears to be a wheel bearing in the final stage of overheat failure moments before the derailment." A spokesperson for Norfolk Southern Corporation rejected claims that the train was too long and heavy, with a spokesperson saying the following: "It previously ran as one longer and heavier train before being split into two shorter, lighter trains in the past few months." End quote. Something that locals have noticed is that local wildlife has been directly affected by this derailment, with one resident saying that roughly 10 miles from the train derailment, 6 chickens passed away several days after the chemical fire started. Another person who lives close by said that they keep foxes and all of them have gone down ill, with one passing away. The foxkeeper said that he's never had this happen to any of his foxes, and even commented on how fish and other wildlife in the area have lost their lives. Residents have said that this is definitely being caused by the train derailment, and said that when looking at the local waterways around Ohio, fish could be seen floating on the surface. Road workers and employees have said that they shouldn't have been doing what they were, and said that something like this could have been prevented. One employee said the following: "We shouldn't be running trains that are 150 car lengths long. There should be some limitations to the weight and the length of the trains. In this case, had the train not been 18,000 tons, it's very likely the effects of the derailment would have been mitigated." End quote. Another rail worker said the following: "There is no way in the 21st century that such a defect should still be threatening our communities. 40% of the weight of NS32N was grouped at the rear third of the train, which has always been bad practice and made more dangerous with longer, heavier trains. This fact almost certainly made the wreck dynamically worse." End quote. After these comments were made, a spokesperson for Norfolk Southern once again said that this wasn't the cause of the crash and that there was nothing wrong with the distribution along the train. One person said the following: "They are not going to admit that they did this on purpose because I guess it could make them liable." It's strange, though, how the workers have come forward and spoken out about this, and it makes you wonder how many times this has happened in the past. There's many of us who are currently unsure as to how serious this situation is, but going by how they're reacting, I would say that it doesn't look good, and I think that as investigations continue, we are going to find out how serious the situation is. End quote. Another user said the following: "I know that some people have been evacuated from their homes, but very soon after the trail derailment, many of us noticed wildlife acting strange in the area. Birds seemed disorientated, and some of them were observed falling out of the sky. In fact, on my property alone, I found 5 birds that were lifeless." Other residents who carried on drinking the water have now reported that they feel unwell, and with the recent news by officials that these chemicals are very harmful to humans, it's making many of us wonder what the long-term effects of this will be. End quote. The United States Department of Transportation said the following: "Today, as local, state, and federal officials continue to investigate the cause of the derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, and monitor public health conditions." The United States Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg called for a 3-pronged push to hold the freight rail industry accountable and improve safety. That includes laying out immediate steps for Class 1 railroads to take to improve rail safety in communities across America and to improve working conditions for rail employees. It comes on the heels of Secretary Buttigieg's letter to Norfolk Southern's chief executive officer, in which the secretary called for an end to the rail industry's vigorous resistance to increased safety measures, which has included litigation and lobbying Congress. "Profit and expediency must never outweigh the safety of the American people," said United States Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. "We are doing everything in our power to improve rail safety, and we insist that the rail industry do the same, while inviting Congress to work with us to raise the bar. The reforms demand that railroads take several actions, including requiring the owners of tank cars to expedite the phase-in of safer tank cars and to offer paid sick leave for rail workers. call on Congress to increase maximum fines that the United States Department of Transportation can issue to rail companies for violating safety regulations up from the current maximum fine of $225,000, and state that the United States Department of Transportation will advance the train crew size rule and initiate a focused safety inspection program on routes over, which trains with large volumes of hazardous material travel." End quote. So, what do you make of this train derailment in Ohio? And do you think the effects of this will be felt in the future? This isn't the first time that man-made errors have had a direct effect on not only humans, but also wildlife. The fact that there was issues that workers have said were overlooked has frustrated those living in the region, with locals saying that not only has this had devastating effects on wildlife, but it's now having a direct effect on people's health, something that you can't put a price on. Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comments section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.